He's looking good.
There's not. He's got in there.
You want me to get some
I'll
scissors?
just cut that off.
Yeah. Look how he's letting you handle him.
We're getting there.
His owner said it always had to be on his terms
Yeah,
before.
Good dog. Good boy. Good boy. He's a nice boy. He's a good boy.
First time in 7 years he's allowed anyone to touch him like this.
He needs a bath.
He fits in the sink.
Yeah, he definitely needs a bath. Do a little bit today, you know, a little bit every day. Break.
Ooh, good boy, Brady. Good job, Brady.
Nice work, Brady. Good boy, Brady.
Sparkle thinks it's for her.
Good.
He usually snaps at dogs. Good boy, Brady.
Very nice. Very nice. Break.
Woo!
Good job. Nice work.
Brady taking your pets.
Yeah. Doesn't necessarily like being touched back here on the hind.
Not many dogs do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
Your work
It's going
is evident.
Yes, we're getting there, slowly but surely. Yeah, I would say this would be classified as vicious, the way that he goes after you.
Owner called it horrific.
Yeah, it's like he's changing now, but he was like mean.
Yeah.
You know, you would think if you think of a mean dog, he was pretty mean about it. So sneaky with the bite sometimes too, and that I didn't like waiting for you to start going away from him and then sneak one in, like things like that.
Yeah, his owner said he would bite her as she was closing the crate door.
Right, exactly. That kind of sneaky stuff. Honestly, what I do now, this is what I did from the beginning, and I still do it, except he's not biting anymore as of right now. He's in his kennel, and basically he's just going to snap as soon as something enters the kennel, and it's at your hand, it's your hand. I just take a slipper or something, and I just open the door and I put it right in front of his face. You know, in the first couple of days, he would slip up and bite it, and then get corrected. Bite it, but what happens is I open it up, he bites it, he gets corrected. I open it up, I put it in front of his face, he doesn't bite it, I say, good boy, we move on. Done that enough times now where I can just open the kennel door up and put something in his face, like a slipper or something, and he'll do this, right? He'll ignore it, and he'll let me touch him with it, and then I'll take something else and put it in there, and take something else and put it in there, and then finally my hand, you know, and did that a bunch. And now, then what ended up happening is one of the days I put the slipper in there, and he nudged it, like for it, you know, saying, you know, I'm good, pet me. And then I took, I take like the food dish or whatever, put it in there, he's not biting it, I put my hand in there, he nudges my hand to put it on top of his head for petting, so he's trying to tell me, I'm not looking to bite. And that's where he is right now. He's not looking to fight me or bite me, because he knows biting equals him getting corrected firmly. So, and it's literally the timing's like he bites, correct, bite, correct, bite, correct. When you're not biting, you're not being corrected, you know? And so he learned, oh, it's the bite that causes it, so stop biting. But then I noticed he was jerky, like if I take something and I randomly just like, not doing it right now, but he would just, out of reflex, because he's just so used to something comes close, boom. So I just keep randomly putting something in front of his face, and if he bit, or even went like this, as long as he didn't open his mouth, no correction. But what's happening is it's happening less and less and less and less, which is cool. I'll catch him off guard and just put the slipper in his face, and he won't do that, you know, like he was. So even if I was touching him back here and didn't see it, he'd, you know, every time I touch him, just, and that's not a good, that's a good way to get bit. So I'm touching to see if there's any more of that stuff, you know. But he's just gonna kind of just tweak, you know. So, but when he goes after, he's mean about it, you know. It's not just like, he's not just giving you a little snap and then laying down. He's looking to tell you to fuck off, and if you want to stick around, he's gonna tear you up, right? It doesn't sound like much coming from a guy like that, but he knows how to snap down and hang on and do that whole thing where they tug on it and everything, do damage.
Yeah, he bit his owner in the face.
He bit his owner in the face.
A couple weeks ago, yeah. All she did, you know, he was in her bed. She just rolled over.
Right, that's where he's at. Where I think his eyesight's not as good as it once was. That doesn't help. But what I'm teaching him is don't bite things ever. I'm just telling him don't do that behavior
ever. And
the way I'm telling him is by getting it out of him, triggering him to bite, so that I can correct him for biting. And what happens is he bites less and less and less and less, to the point where he knows, he's very aware that it's the bite. Yeah, so what I'm trying to do is make sure that there's no bites left in him, as far as with me and him in our relationship. So it was very easy to get him to strike at me in the beginning, because he came here with a trigger, which is being in the kennel, and then you reaching in there or whatever, and then he snaps at you. But he also bit somebody when they try to pick him up, you know, and he doesn't like his feet being touched. I haven't been told every single time he's ever snapped at somebody, but my understanding that if he doesn't want you to touch his toes, he'll snap at you. If he doesn't want you to pick him up, he'll snap at you.
Well, it's very telling that they can't even do blood work at the vet.
Right.
Because they can't control him.
They also can't do proper tests on anything. Like they can't. Yeah, like I said, how's his eyesight? I asked how's his eyesight, and you said that he got cleared, but I don't see how they're able to tell with a dog who's the way he was. But I see like his eyesight's not perfect. That's what I see.
The only time you can have his nails done is if he's completely put under.
Yeah.
And she told me all the vets that she's met, they sort of are like, give up on him. Pass him on to the next.
You see what I'm doing right there?
Yeah.
Whoa. That would have been.
Yes.
It doesn't matter what it is. It could be a piece of celery. It could be your hand. It could be a shoe. It could be. It doesn't matter what it is. And that's where he was headed. So I brought attention to biting. I want to talk to you about biting. And every time you bite, I'm going to correct. So I push. I'm not trying to avoid bites with him. I'm pushing him to be like, are you going to bite? Are you going to bite? And if he chooses not to, which you can see clearly, you can see it in his expression, he's like saying, he's saying, I'm not going to bite. The opposite of that, I'm okay with this. And he'll give it a little nudge. That gets patted, that gets rewarded. Thank you, that's good. Any type of stiffness or striking, I'm going to disagree with. And the biting's going to get punished.
Look at
so
him.
It's all about biting. Like Julia said, until the biting's gone, then I'll do other stuff with him. But, so, can I touch you? Do you strike at me? So anytime he strikes, if he's thinking about striking, here's the thing that I'm doing here. If I'm touching him along and then all of a sudden he gets tense, like he doesn't like something, I'm not going to back away. I'm going to say, oh, is that where a bite is? And then I push a little bit more, and then correct. And then settle the situation, go back to the same thing before, and watch him adjust and get softer and allow you to do the thing you're doing. And then you say, good boy, that's the choice next time. Next time you feel the urge to bite, go into this space. Because when you're in this space, which is submission, I have no problem with you. We don't have any conflict. There's no confrontation. Because he knows how the confrontation goes, he knows how it's going to end, he's trying to avoid it now. So now I can go around and do all this stuff, and he knows, because I explained it to him very clearly, not to bite me. He knows, very aware that biting is not a valuable option with me. So instead he just lets me do the thing I'm going to do, and then what he realizes is that's a lot easier than putting up the fight. Just laying here and let me do this, so much easier than throwing a big fight and then me retaliating and then it ending in a submission. He doesn't want to do that anymore. So he's going out of his way not to do it, and that's where he gets rewarded. If he leaves this state and tries to be more dominant with me, though, I correct him. Because we're talking dog here. He has a position with me, and it's below me, and I'm allowed to dominate him if I need to, right? And dog words, I'm allowed to come up over here and sniff on you, and then expect you not to move while I sniff in your ears, and I sniff on your butt. I can nudge you over to let me under your belly and sniff you. Because I have that relationship with him, that's what's going to keep me successful with him. Now I'm going to be able to, once the bites I feel like are not only gone from me, but I can have Julie come over here and do this kind of stuff, I'll start working with him on different stuff. Okay, but this was the top priority. He's here on emergency because he did just bite his owner in the face, but he's been this way for a little while now, from my understanding.
Yeah, she said it got worse like over the summer. Interesting fact, she was in a relationship for 4 years, and she believed that person was his alpha.
The partner?
And he was better behaved
that makes
during
sense.
that 4 years.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But she said he's always been, she said he's never been fully potty trained. Even from a puppy. He's never been trained. No one's ever been able to do his nails.
So the potty training thing is getting better. Now what that is structure. That's what potty training is. That's how you potty train a dog, is through structure. And so this structure, what's interesting about this program is this structure ends up potty training dogs. It's not intended to be a potty training program for a dog, especially a 7-year-old dog, but he's actually getting potty trained. Today it was very successful. Nothing in his kennel overnight, and then actually he was barking in the middle of the night. He had to take a poop, so he's trying to let me know that he's got to go, which I appreciate. Now I'm changing his feeding schedule so that doesn't happen again. But this morning I'm letting him out, and instead of pooping in his kennel at sight of me or peeing, or as soon as he hops out of the kennel, he actually held it. He let me put his gear on. I open the door. I tell him he can go out. He goes out and he goes to the bathroom. He comes back in and he goes in his kennel. So he's getting his little routine. He doesn't want to sit in his own poop, which is good. He doesn't want to sit in it. So if he's in a kennel, he's going to hold it so that he can go outside and then go. That's how he's getting potty trained here. Just a result of structure. So the way we do potties here, though, this goes for every dog, not just him, but every dog. Our dogs don't tell us when they have to use the bathroom. That's not the game to play. The game is every couple hours you're going to be let out to use the bathroom, and you're expected to go out there. In between potty breaks, I don't need you to tell me that you need to go. You know what I mean? And that's how we keep our dogs from raising their voice and then picking us up and having us go open a door for them. That doesn't land good, and that's not a good message to send the dog that they can speak and get you to do something. I know that's what we all think is great, but it's not. Especially if the relationship's not super tight. I say this all the time. If you're really good with dogs and you know your business and you take care of shit with your dogs, you can break those rules. You can have your dog on the couch. You can have your dog in the bed. You can break all the rules because you know it's all about the relationship and you know how to correct and when to, and at the end of the day, the dog believes you. Before we have all that, we need to rely on the training and the structure. Okay? So when he goes home, there's going to be a lot more structure in his life, and he's going to be, over time, he's going to be a lot more relaxed and enjoy his life more because he doesn't have to worry about anything really. Doesn't even got to worry about a potty break. You've got that scheduled into this day. You know what I mean? Every couple hours, let him out. Simple as that. In between then, I'll explain it in a different video, and you'll learn more on the go home, how to live with him and how to use the commands, okay? At the end of the day, this dog's not biting me because every time he bit me, he got punished physically, right? With the e-collar. Also from me, boom, dog whispering stuff. I defend myself. So he bites, there's retaliation equals, done the right way and has good follow through where I can get him to submit. I put that on repeat, the bites go away.
Look at him.
Right?
He looks so calm and relaxing.
He's gonna end up feeling better than he has.
He trusts you.
Yeah, and so it's all good, but we don't get here by a dog snapping at us and us pulling away and then calling it a day. When a biting dog snaps at you, that is your opportunity to tell him not to do that again. And I hope everyone understands. It's how you react to a dog biting at you. I'm not telling you, obviously this isn't directed towards his owner that you needed to react a certain way or whatever. You got professional help, which is the great thing. But from a behavioral viewpoint, if he goes to bite at me and I pull away and nothing aversive happens to him, it's a very useful tool to start biting. But he also had some neurotic behaviors when he came here too. He was not stable in the head, so he's a biting dog, but he's also neurotic. So he'll overreact. Here's a noise and he's on edge. This is gonna lead to some shit show stuff. Of course, owner got bit in the face. So that, there it is. So, it's all about keeping them balanced, which means if we have to use dog behavior to our favor, and understand actually what messages we're sending to him. Okay? He did great in this session. I'm gonna hang it up. I'm not gonna push him any further than this today, so then he can be like, oh, that was it? That wasn't so bad. But look, okay, so we're getting there.
I think he's enjoying it. He doesn't want to admit it, but he's enjoying it.
Yeah, and make sure to touch him in the top. Oh, another thing, and this is going to be important going home. Putting the tools on, because honestly, once you have the tools on and training's done, things should be relatively easy. You have your tools on, but getting the tools on a biting dog, that's something that we need to make sure is covered. So luckily, in the past few days, me and him, I have no issues putting his tools on, taking them off or anything like that. But I want to get to the point where he sees that thing, and I think I am getting there. He sees these tools, and he not only allows you to put them on, but he wants them put on. Even though they're the tools that correct him, it's a little bit of a mind warp, I guess, because this ends up signifying that he's coming out of the kennel. This ends up signifying that he's going to be involved in the day. So this is a good thing if we use it right. The right way to put it on is when he comes out of the kennel, that goes on before he gets out of the kennel. Before he's in the living space, he has to have this collar on, because that's how you're going to be able to correct and direct him. If he doesn't have it on, he doesn't leave the kennel. Now that leaves a dog wanting to put it on. What creates a dog who doesn't want to put it on is that we don't put it on for whatever reason. I could think of a million reasons why people stop putting this on, or too early. They don't put it on, and then the dog fucks up, makes a mistake, and then they get upset with the dog and they go get the collar because the dog won't listen, and then they put it on, then they correct the dog. So the dog only sees the collar when now they've done something wrong, and then you put it on and correct them. I mean, obviously they're going to look at it a certain way, but if you just throw it on as if it's their collar, make it their regular collar while they're out of their kennel, then they just see it as their ticket to get out of the kennel and go do something with you. So they're like happy to put it on. That's how we need him to be. And right now, that's how we're getting it. I see him, he sees me go to put this on, he knows what it means, he's sitting, he's letting me put it on, and then we go and do something. So if there's any corrections, it just happens. I don't have to go and put the collar on to correct him. It's just happening. And he's not really correlating the two. He's not thinking about it like that, oddly enough, you know? So remember that. We need to make sure that he's, has the collar on when he leaves the kennel. We're not just willy-nillying it and then he's acting up and trying to put it on and getting bit when you're trying to put it on and all that, okay? So no collar, no program. All right. We're gonna wrap this up. You did good, bud. Break.
Yay, Brady, good boy.
Yeah, everybody
Go
did
Sparkle.
good. Everybody did good. That was very successful. How long has he been here now?
6 days.
Okay, so that's right for an aggressive dog. Somewhere between a week and a half, 2 weeks is when I really feel like I can put my face up next to his, you know what I mean? Like I wanna make sure that he's safe with me before I move on to start getting other people involved, which is what I'm gonna have to do to really bring this guy full circle. He's gotta be able to be led by practically a stranger and let them do the same things that I'm asking him to let me do without trying to snap at them, and use the coping skills of relaxing and just submitting to the situation. So far so good. He went from pretty vicious to showing me a sweet side upon seeing me. So he wants to let me know right off the bat, hey, we're good. Because I never started a fight with him. He always started the fights. So he knows. It's like once you start the fight, once you bite, I'll finish the fight, and it's not going to be fun. And so now he's going out his way to let me know that he's not interested in fighting by showing me affection and giving me submissive body language to let me know, hey, I'm not looking for a fight, and I let him know I really appreciate that, and then we go from there. That's our dynamic, okay? All right, let's go. Come on, bub. Brady, this way. Come on. Good boy.